welcome to another edition of Genesis 49ers. Today we're going to touch on a topic: the 10 tribes in the ancient Americas, pre pre-Columbian. And what inspired this presentation is over about a year or two years worth of research for the 12 tribes chart. Because a lot of people, there's no proof for the 12 tribes chart. You're just going off of REI and his vision and whatnot, which I got a video. I'm going to make a video about that as well, how that's a double standard, because you have the house of Israel in Ghana, which started the same exact way. A brother came up and said he had a vision that the people of Ghana, the indigenous people of Ghana, were Israelites, but that's another video. But today, as you can see in front of your screen, the 10 tribes in ancient America, we're going to deal with the tribes here and the titles and the names, the nomers that we find within these quote unquote Indian tribes. So let's commence. First slide, you can see I have labeled the tribes. Aruba is the tribe of Ephraim or Joseph. Manasseh is the tribe of Manasseh. And if you know anything about the Hebrew language, when you have the E on the end of it, that denotes people of. So Manasseh would be the Manassites or the Manassites. Rabanal is the tribe of the tribe of Reuben, which would be Reuben in ancient Hebrew. Rabanal, meaning Reuben power, because the Al or the Allah means power. Shemaiah. Now this is Jamaica. How you really supposed to say the island of Jamaica, because in the Spanish codices it has the word X, the letter X, and the letter X. Anytime you see the letter X in the Spanish codice, and the codices, that's supposed to be a sh sound, because they had a hard time pronouncing the sh sound that they found in these indigenous tongues. So the real pronunciation of the island of Jamaica is Jamaica, which is Simeon, the land of Simeon. Gad, the tribe of Gad. Oshaka, which is not supposed to be Oshaka. Same thing. When you see the O in the Spanish codices, that's a wa. It makes the wa, W-A, wa sound. So that's Washaka, which is Issachar. That's how you would say it in the ancient Aramaic or Hebrew tongue. And it would be Yashakar, but in other languages as well. I mean, in other metatheses of the language, you find like the tribe of Judah in the west coast of Africa and the Gold Coast, it's pronounced Wida or Wada. It's the same way, because the Y and the Ya are interchangeable. The Danite tribe, or the Danites, right? Because, like I said, you see the I or the Yod in the Hebrew, for the brothers that know the Hebrew, at the end of a sentence in the suffix form, it denotes the people of, or it can also mean the ownership of, but in this case, Danites. The Ashuri, same thing. The Asherites of the tribe of Asher. Naphtali, which is Naphtali, and last but not least, Zebulun or Zebulun. These are the 10 tribes found here within the ancient records of America. And to the right, you can see I have the rhinoceros, the symbol of Ephraim, the leader of the tribes, Ephraim, the unicorn. All right, Aruba. Now, this is how I came to the conclusion and understanding that Aruba represents the tribe of Joseph of Ephraim. It says the island of Aruba still retains its native name. Aruba derives from the Hebrew strong 7231 Rabbah, meaning to increase. Ephraim means fruitful, and Joseph means to add. So all these names mean the same thing. There are different ways to say the same thing. The names correlate perfectly. Jeroboam or Jeroboam, which means the people shall increase, which was the first king of the northern kingdom. His name is within Yoruba. Okay? Tribe Yoruba, the Yoruba tribe in West Africa, they even teach within their oral tradition that they are the tribes of Ephraim. Okay? The Benaiah Ephraim, the sons of Ephraim. Yoruba and Aruba tribes, because you find the Yoruba in New Mexico. without the annals of history. Now, Aruba is an island within the Circum-Caribbean, okay, within the Caribbean Sea. To the right, you see the Maruba, the Maruba, the Marubo, the Maraba, the Maropa, Marova, and the Maruba are relatively isolated tribe of AmerIndians who are related to the Mayoroni and speak a language that is part of the Panoan family. They live in several closely related villages at the headwaters of the Ituai and the Caraca rivers in the state of Amazon, Brazil. So you also have the Maruba, all right? So next slide. The Manasseh, the tribe of Manasseh. Manasseh, the tribal name of Manasseh. You see the Strong's H4520. For those at home that have the concordance, they can look that up. All right. It says Arawak, possibly the Tapakura, was another socially advanced tribe chieftain, as were their eastern neighbors, the also extinct Manasseh. The Manasseh, usually classed as a Chiquition, were of the same nation as the Tapakura. According to their discoverer, Lucas Caballero, possibly both tribes were Arawak. Manasseh Arawak, the aboriginal cultural geography of the Llanos de Mojos of Bolivia, issue 48. So, as you can see, that tribe. And you can see a lot of these tribal names are found within South America. That just shows a dispersion from South America to the other lands. Let's go to the next slide. Reuben or Reuben, the tribe of Reuben, was located in South America by Montezuma or Montezini in the 1500s. The source, State of Nations, Past and Present by P.A. Bedome, page 219. After this, the author of the manuscript goes on with the history of his country, of the several tribes of his own blood, of the establishment and foundation of the Quiches, the Cachuquel, the Zuluhil, the Zokil, and the Rabanal, till he arrives at the time of the conquest. And that's the source. You can see that these names are found within the native tribes. The Tribe of Reuben, Annals of Iowa, volume 6 to 7. The tribe right there. So we can see the tribal names within the Indians. Next tribe, Shemaiah or Simeon, the tribe of Simeon. I came to this conclusion by basically pondering the 12 tribes chart. Okay, the tribe of Simeon and the tribe of Levi were on the same island. So, of course, the tribe of Simeon didn't stay with Judah, as some people think. But if you read the book of Chronicles, it says until the time of David, they would stay there. But after that, the dispersion, the 10 tribes went with Jeroboam. So, if they came to the Americas, which is what happened, they came to the Americas. What island or what people did they, what's the evidence of them being here? And I found that the neighboring island of Santiago, you find, Jamaica's right close by it, right near it, and the name was Jamaica. So that brought my research, and it basically sparked something in me to pay it more attention. And I found out that the X in the codices is, like I said earlier, represents Shah, so it's Shemai Ka, which correlates beautifully with the Hebrew, because Shemai is Simeon. Strong's H8085, and Ka Akwa means dwelling. Strong's H690, land of Simeon. That actually needs to be corrected. It should be. Give me a minute. Type this in here real quick. And then 6960. 6960. So Strong's H6960 is where you can find that in the concordance. And it translates to the land of Simeon, or the dwelling of Simeon. The lie that the word Shemaiah derives from the land of trees and waters is unfounded, seeing that the word Ueni, which is the Arawak word for water, and Ara, tree, that's where you get the word Arawak from, the people of the trees, are nowhere to be found. And they also show that they fit the prophecy written in the Bible, that they will be a fruitful bough, which is a branch which comes from what? A tree. The tree people. But this word Shemaika does not equal grammatically to the land of trees and water. You're not going to find it within the word, within the composition of the word. Okay, the logical understanding of this word is Shemaika, meaning the land of Simeon. Period. And when you read different sources, you understand that a lot of these understandings of words and names have been colonialized and basically been whitewashed from their original meanings because the indigenous people did not have a voice for a long time. But that's another video. Let's proceed to the next slide. The tribe of Gad. The Navajo have retained their ancient tribal name Gad in the book Wisdom Sits in Places. Let's get right to the point. Basically, the Navajo is speaking and said, "This earth is part of us. We are of this place. Juniper tree stands alone. We should name ourselves for this place. We are Gad Oain." And once you examine the folklore behind the juniper tree, they named it Gad because it gives you good luck. And that's what the word Gad means. It means good fortune, or you can apply the appellative troop to it. And they actually understood that, and they still hold this name to this day. And the source is Wisdom Sits in Places, Landscape and Language Among the Western Apache by Keith H. Basso, page 21. Next slide. Oaxaca or Oaxaca, as I mentioned before, the O in the Spanish codices represent the Wa sound. So the word Oaxaca should be pronounced Oaxaca, or as its South American equivalent, Washakar and Washakar, which is ancient Hebrew for Issachar, because Issachar is an English metathesis or rendition of the ancient word Washakar. And a lot of you probably, if you know modern Hebrew, you're going to say, no, it's Issachar. No. First of all, you're not going to have an I, in the ancient language within that construct, within those first, the yod in the beginning would be a ya or a wa. It's just that simple. You're not going to get a ye or a yis. That also cuts the Yisrael thing. But anyway, that's a later rendition of Hebrew, 9th century Hebrew. Next slide. Wait on, let me read this. It says, Rivera Sernar, Libro Primero de Cabildos del Cusco, 469. Huáscar is spelled Huáscar in the original. Francisco Pizarro and his brothers, The Illusion of Power in the 16th by Raviel Varon Gabai. Huáscar again. This also led me to the understanding of that this name is the ancient name of Issachar. Balthasar de Medina, the Mexicans are originally of the 10 tribes captured by Salmanazar, and of the family of Issachar, whom the Indians recognize as their special ancestors. So where did he get this information from? This is how I'm thinking when I'm reading and researching. I'm looking at this source and say he had to get this information from somewhere. Who is this special ancestor? And a lot of times we would take our ancestors and name it as a city or some landmark, i.e. the city of Tola. Tola is a son of Issachar. Tola is a city in Mexico, okay, in Central America. Next slide. And I got that from the book Origin of American Indians, European Concepts, 1492 to 1729 by Lee E. Huddleston. The tribe of Dan in ancient America. Now, before I start on this slide, a lot of people are like, oh, you guys teach that the tribe of Dan is destroyed. They're no more. I don't teach that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people, that's not what they're trying to convey. The scripture says, as a tribe of Dan, that they would judge as a tribe that they would judge the people, denoting that they would no longer have tribal recognition. That's why in the book of Revelations, their name is not mentioned. And also in the book of Genesis, it's prophesied that Manasseh and Ephraim will become tribes. So, with that being stated, they're still Israelites, and they still maintain that name. They don't have that tribal recognition anymore. Well, let's read this. The tribe of Dan in ancient America, the Danai or the Danites. The Danai are a small tribe of AmerIndians who speak in Arawa language. They live in a vast territory extending from the headwaters of the Purus River to the headwaters of the Shirua River, in the state of the Amazonas, Brazil. They are a tribe, however, only in the sense that they have a common language. Their primary political and social focus is on the local region rather than all who share the Dana language. The major Dana subgroups are the Upoavadani on the Mamoria River, the Demadani, located where the Mamaria River flows into the Purus River. So you can read this on your own. This source is the Indians of Central and South America, an ethno-historical dictionary by James Stewart Olson. And you can clearly see that this tribe name was being in use by the Native American Indians. Next slide, Ashuri, which is the tribe of Asher, the people of Asher, or the Ashurites, a group of South American Indians, the Ashuri. And you can see the source from the Maranon, possibly the Pastada River, to the Urituyaku, a small left tributary of the Maranon, where they live under a patron spoke Quechua. In addition to their own language, and were largely assimilated, and they were the Ashura, the Ashiri, the Ashiri. So, as you can see, that's the tribe of Asher in South America. And this is from the Handbook of South American Indians, the tropical forest tribes. See, this I have sources to back up the information. So you brothers and sisters that are watching can go back home, research this yourself, and see the validity of the slides. Nafeta. Nafeta is a variant of the tribal name Naphtali. It can be found in the Septuagint, which I believe is spelled Napheta in the Septuagint. And you can see the Napea, the Nafeta, found within the Native Indian tribe names. Nafeta, tribal names of the Americas, spelling variants and alternative forms, crossed by Patricia Roberts Clark. That's the source. Last but not least, Shebulun or Zebulun, the tribe of Zebulun. The Shebulun or Shebulun, remember the X, once you see the X in Spanish codices, it represents the Sh, is an ancient ancestor of the Mayans that has been deified. And you can see to the right, hero twins Hunapu and Shebulun K. Time period classic and contemporary cultural group, the Kichi Maya. So when you see the 12 tribes chart and it says the Mayans, the tribe of Zebulun, here's the proof. The Hunapu and the Shebulun K, known as the hero twins, are the main figures in the 2 of the 5 myths of the Pope from the Popal View. And if you don't know what the Popal View is, it's basically the Bible of Mayans. It has a lot of information of their culture and their origins, and even teaches that they came from the Middle East, okay, on ships over here. The Kichi legend of creation, the hero twins are not created deities or gods that control the fates of ordinary humans, but rather trickster figures that outsmart and defeat the morally questionable supernatural figures. First, they defeat those who try to magnify themselves of the creator god Jurikon, and second, they trounce an unsavory underworld lord Shibaba. But you can read the rest of this on your own. I just wanted to show you how they deified their ancestors, which was a common practice in the old world. You know, very common practice. Even in the book of Ezekiel, we got in trouble for that. I think it's the Ezekiel 30 or 47 chapter where the Lord basically got on us for worshiping the carcasses of our kings. We were deifying them. All right, next slide. This is Eber or Hebrew, and I know many of my Hebrew brothers that's been studying and knowing about the Northern Kingdom and the 10 tribes. They actually are pretty familiar with this source. So I'm going to read the source first before I get into the Hebrew cognates. This is from Christopher Columbus and the Participation of the Jews, page 98. Of more interest than the mode of migration is the question whether any analogies in language, in traditions, and religious conceptions or in religious ceremonies justify the acceptance of this ethnological theory. Rodin's chief argument in support of his view is the language of the Indians in Hispaniola, Cuba, Jamaica, and the adjoining islands. He contends that it has many resemblances to Hebrew. In fact, he even calls it corrupted Hebrew. He asserts that such names as Cuba and Haiti are Hebrew and that they were first applied by the earliest caciques. The chiefs or leaders, the Kazakan, or the Kazan, that's Hebrew as well, who discovered and peopled the islands. The name of the rivers and persons in use among the natives are derived from the Hebrew For example, hyena from the Hebrew ayin, stream, Jonas from Jonah, Yaki from Jacob, Urias from Urias, Sayababo from Seba, Maisa from Moisi. The names of their tools of their little canoes are Kansas, the name Akshi for pepper, the name of the storehouse for maize, grain, and the like of all point to the Hebrew language. Okay, because you have something what you call metathesis, the change of how words are pronounced through years. The greatest example I can give you is Spanish is from Latin, Italian's from Latin, but you can see how much they're changed from their root language. Okay, there's a lot of changes. Like for instance, one example I can say off the top of my head because I am actually studying Spanish. The reason why you don't pronounce H, the H or the Achi in Spanish, the reason why you don't pronounce this letter is because when in the beginning of the sentence you don't pronounce it because it's only there because of its relationship with the Latin language. That's why the H is there. And it's kind of like a remembrance of where it comes from, but you don't actually pronounce it. But it shows a relationship between the Roman Latin language. Now, as you can look to the left of the screen, it says a lot of names, which are indigenous names: Nahuatl, Quechua, Quiche, Algonquian languages, and how they correlate with Hebrew. The first one is Mexica, which we know today as Mexico. Remember, the X represents Sh, and it means anointed in Hebrew, and that's actually Aramaic. That's how you say Mashiach in the Aramaic tongue, Mexica. Like they would call Jesus Christ Yeshu Mexica, right? Because Christ means anointed in Greek. The next word, Cuba, the island Cuba, which means large tent. And when you look at Cuba, it's the largest island within the Circum-Caribbean. Okay, so that makes sense. The Borican, the island of Borican, comes from the Hebrew word Berukim, meaning blessing, not brave lords. When I was taught that, I spent hours and hours and hours trying to find a correlation that it meant brave lords, because you went to the website and said, oh, that's what it means because you went to a website. That's not what it means. That doesn't correlate. Brave in Hebrew doesn't correlate with the word Borican at all. No shape, form, or fashion. So Berukum is a better fit. Peru means fruitful. Haiti is the same word for Hittite. Hittite is basically an untranslatable word. We really don't know, from the research that I have put into it, I really don't know what the word actually means. But you know of the ancient Hittite people, then this doesn't necessarily mean they were Hamites, because Uriah was an Israelite and he was called Uriah the Hittite. Next word, Shawnee, correlates with the Gadite sons of Shuni. Maya equals water, like the Miami, where you get the word Miami from. That word means the people of water, or the downstream people in the Native American tongue. Aztec means the people of time, because Az means time in Hebrew, and Teka means a gathering. Okay, so it translates to the people of time, and that fits the scripture 1 Chronicles 12 and 32 about the tribe of Issachar, and that they will have the understandings of time. That's why when we examine the Aztec and Mayan people, they're known for their sundials, the Hob calendar, how accurate it was, and their lunations, and understanding of how the moon worked, and understand how solar time worked. They are the people that understood that, which fits their name. With that, I'm going to conclude. I pray that you brothers learn something and gain something from this. And as like I said, you've seen all 10 tribes found here in America. You see their names, you see their appellados, you see their nomes. No more excuses. With that, I'm going to say shalom. Most High in Christ bless family.